Greenland 2 Migration follows the Garrity family after surviving a comet apocalypse as they journey across a shattered Europe to reach their final refuge in Greenland. With society collapse and danger everywhere, the real threat isn't just the world, it's the desperate people left in it. It's a tense survival story about hope, endurance, and a family at the end of civilization. Hey, thank you for watching. Have you seen it? And my question is, have you seen Greenland 2 Migration? Yes, I had to look just to make sure because I don't been watching a lot of movies lately. But once again, I appreciate you guys watching. And my overall view of this movie is one, when it comes to these type of movies here where it's survival and you got to operate through a crazy world and crazy people, those type of mix of movies is one of my favorites because you don't only have to deal with crazy people, which on its own could be a movie, but now you got your environments, Mother Nature kicking your ass, and that right there makes a very intriguing movie. And this movie does a great job of blending within the two because we know they have to live off the land. So you can't just, despite everything about it, you still have to utilize and move and live within the land. So that right there is challenging on its own. But then you have people which come on all sides of the spectrum. This movie does a good job of blending people that you love, that you trust, but then you run into people that are crazy and they are surviving themselves. So it's not personal, but you have something that they need. And this movie does a good job of expressing that. And you run into people that don't just want to take from you, they want to give to you. So it does a good job of showing different faces of people trying to survive in a world that's trying to kill them. So a few of my highlights of this movie was, one was, it wasn't really a moment throughout this movie that was stagnant. And now the movie is only the length, an hour and 39 minutes. So it's not really too much movie, but when it comes to the pacing of this movie, it always kept going forward. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but they had a destination that they needed to get to, and the movie did a really good job of taking you from moment to moment to moment to moment. And now some of them were pretty abrupt, but it did a good job of continuing to move the family across the world and taking you along with it. And it never felt like a dull moment because something was always happening. And I think that's something you can expect when the world around you is trying to kill you and people, you don't know people's intentions. You are skeptical and you're trying to protect your family. It's always going to be something happening. So with this movie, essentially from the beginning, it did a good job of kind of holding your hand and walking you through. It wasn't too fast, but it wasn't slow. Like they ain't got nothing better to do with their time than to just be sitting around drinking. Like it did a pretty good job of keeping a decent pace with the movie. And then one of my, it kind of sucks to say one of my favorite parts because it was a really sad part, but to not give spoilers, there was a moment at the beginning of the movie that caused everyone to have to evacuate underground. And a lot is happening. And I was thinking, like, I don't think it's as bad. Like, they can breathe the air. They're chilling right now. Everyone's freaking out because, it's like an earthquake happening. So, but once things settle down, I'm thinking it's not going to be too bad. People need to calm down. But then a big ass wave. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it took care of the job. Okay, I was wondering, what are all these people going to do? They ain't really got nothing to worry about now. So let's talk about some of the letdowns, okay? And it's very few because once again, it's a short movie. And to me, that's kind of part of the problem. Now, if it's going to be a short movie, you can make this into a series. You can make this into a limited series on Netflix or something and give us a little more. Because, and this is the problem with a lot of movies, not just this one here, but some of these characters that you see here, I want to invest in them emotionally. I am a very emotional person, so it doesn't take a lot to do that, but it's gonna take some work. And with some of the characters that were killed along the journey, it felt like it should have been more impactful than what it was. Like I didn't really care. I was like, damn, ooh, that sucks. But I moved on, to be honest. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like a movie like this where you have to go throughout their their lived experience through the dangers of essentially everywhere and anywhere. Give me a little bit longer of a movie. I'm going there to the movie theater. Go ahead and give me all that you got. You don't have to speed rush this type of story. Let me feel for the characters that you're going to kill off. But in an hour 39 minutes, you really can't do that. And to be honest, without giving spoilers, one of the main people on here died. Okay, damn. Okay, I done told you. Okay, but to be honest, I didn't really care. And yeah, I know it sucks, but you have to get me to invest into the character, and it's gonna take a little time to do that. Now, one of my questions with this movie, and I know sometimes, when you're watching these kind of movies, not everything can be answered. Not everything has to make sense. I know I watch Marvel movies, so I get that. But there is a moment throughout this movie where the family's trying to get to Greenland, and there's a full blown war happening. I'm kind of confused on why that's happening. And it seems to be like right in the middle of where they're trying to go. And I'm like, one, why? Like, it's a full blown war. Not like, you have these little militia groups running around. It's a full blown war. And my first question is why, when on the other side, civilization can begin again? The source of where everyone around the world is struggling, it seems like the solution is just right there. Now, of course, in movies like this, I was expecting to be like a government or a regime to be controlling that area because, of course, in real life, we're going to have governments to want to capitalize and own solutions like that, especially if it's the end of the world. Okay, so obviously. But unfortunately, and once again, not to try to give you light spoilers here, but when people got to the destination, I didn't see anything. It was actually quite peaceful. I'm like, where's the government that's trying to control this place? Or why are they fighting? Do they even know this is over here? So it kind of just threw me for a loop. And unfortunately, the movie didn't even really let us experience the Greenland face first. Like, we seen a picture, but I wanted to see the characters go to the place and experience, drink the water, just get a big whiff of fresh air. Pick some flowers, bite into an apple. I wanted to see the characters enjoy the fruit of their labor after this long journey, people that they cared about dying. And when they get there, they end the movie. And I'm like, but I wanted to see. You brought me along with the journey. I wanted to see what they found. And to be honest, the picture that they showed us, it felt like a Google image. Like it was kind of blurry, so they didn't want to give too much detail, but like they were like, oh, this is the place. And it's like, that that kind of doesn't even look real. Okay, but can the characters enjoy their long journey? But no, they cut the movie short. I don't know why. Was it budget? What did they? I don't know, but it was a letdown. So my overall kind of vibe for this movie, and like I said, I'm still trying to figure out a better grading system. But right now, I'm using A as in amazing, and C as in crap. Okay, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this a C plus. Okay, damn it. Yes, I had to give it a plus because it was enjoyable, but it wasn't worth the movie ticket price. Not even a little bit. And I done bought some popcorn, and the popcorn was stale because me and my daughter seen this movie early in the morning, so the popcorn wasn't even popping, okay? So it's like, give me a good movie. And it was okay. But I definitely could have waited till it hit the TV streaming, and I could have watched this in my jammies, okay? In my Iron Man jammies. Yes, I got Iron Man jammies. I could have watched this at home. Okay, and would have just gotten the same experience at home that I did in the movie theater. So once again, I appreciate you guys clicking this video. Go ahead, subscribe if you want to see more TV series and movies that are coming in the future. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.